Me, 28M, with my wife, 27F, duration 9 years, she cheated on me when I was out of town. Background, been together for 9 years. Started dating before college and were exclusive throughout. After college I moved home while she finished up schooling. At the end of her last semester she broke up with me cause there was another guy that was giving her attention. 2 months later she came back begging for forgiveness and promised nothing had transpired. 6 months later we were living in an apartment together. About a year after that we were married. We moved into a house last year, less than a year after getting married, thanks to the money I got from my grandmother's passing. 4 months ago she lost her job and has not gotten another one as far as I know. After college and through her joblessness I have been the breadwinner. I was lucky enough to have a job good enough to pay for most all of our expenses, including her student loans and new car. I went out of state a couple Thursdays ago for a project the company was involved in. I wasn't scheduled to be back till the next Thursday. Wednesday I got told I could go home early. I called and told my wife I would be coming home, but I could tell that she wasn't herself and didn't seem happy to hear the news. She said she hadn't been sleeping well. I got home and she did seem tired. We relaxed for a few hours and then went to bed where she insisted or stated that she wanted to have romance. Having been away for almost a week I was in a giving mood and performed oral before having romance. She didn't seem that into things and her kisses were all close-mouthed. Following day I went to work, nothing unusual. She arrived home after me and went straight to the shower having come from a gym class. She doesn't smoke, so when I asked her why there were cigarettes in her purse it seemed to have started a conversation she was avoiding. She told me she was unhappy and had been for a while. Stated that she thought we wanted different things. Mentioned that she hadn't missed me while I was away. Through it all I was mostly silent and fuming angry, incapable of putting to words the betrayal that I was feeling. She ended up leaving in tears, and I subsequently broke down. I called my friends and ended up riding to their apartment for a few hours. After return home around 11:30 I was angry and hurt and started searching the house out of suspicion. She had left the rings on the dresser. I started looking through her computer. There I found through Facebook messages the log of probably 80% of what had been said between her and the guy she slept with over the previous 5 days. She stated that things were bearable while she was working but that her time out of work was the worst in her life. She felt like she wasn't getting to do the things that she wanted to do, and felt like she was cornered and angry with the decisions that got her here. There was also a number of messages where she insisted that they should get together. Come to find out, she had spent the entirety of Wednesday evening messaging the guy and even invited him to my home for dinner. The messaging continued to the early morning and only stopped when she went to his apartment at close to 3 a.m. She didn't arrive home until after 6 p.m. Wednesday, 2 hours before I got home from the trip. They had unprotected romance and then insisted that we have romance the night I got home. A time frame of about 18 hours. I also found out through these messages that she went to his apartment when she left the house Thursday night. I saved the entire Facebook conversation to PDF, which ended up being close to 70 pages of messages exchanged in 5 days, stored in multiple places. She came home after 1 a.m. Thursday night. Friday morning. I told her that I knew. She tried to tell me that she didn't intend for things to happen, which was a lie based on the transcript. Much angry silence followed and she ended up staying in the guest bedroom. Friday morning I broke the news to my parents. I suggested to her that she move out cause I wasn't interested in forgiving her. She left for a few days but has since returned to the guest room. Her family found out through my parents and are devastated. Her father and I are actually still on good, though awkward, terms despite all of this. I have gotten in touch with a lawyer. I have also gotten tested for STDs and HIV, results haven't returned yet. I have moved the money that I can out of joint accounts and gotten my own. I have been working on getting my things in order to live without her, once the agreement is finished and she gets out. Once the agreement is finalized I will have to wait a full year before the divorce is final. I haven't orally spoken a word to her in the weeks since things fell apart, but we are sitting down to discuss it in person today. I am sure that I missed some details, but that is the gist of it. Really the only thing that I don't know or have plans for is where do I go from here? I know that I am still fairly young, but I was never really one to go out and meet new people and I have literally no clue what I am doing when it comes to dating as an adult. DL, Doctor, my wife cheated on me while I was out of town. I have enough evidence that the proceedings will not go her way. I have gotten tested. Where do I go from here? Edit, for clarity she does not take birth control. We have used condoms since we started dating and one was used the night I returned so the chance for a pregnancy ploy is slim to none. Also as some of you have pointed out, this ended up not being the first time she cheated. I found out through the transcript that she had romance with some other guy from work 4 years ago, after the breakup and reconciliation but before we moved in together. Hi guys, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You handled it like a boss, son. Rely on your friends and family. Take it day by day. The rest will come in time. Internet dating is all the rage with the kids these days. I'd suggest waiting a few more months before dipping your toes in that water. I may be reading too much into things, but is your wife on birth control? My first thought when I read the part about having unprotected romance with him then was she was worried about a pregnancy and wanted to make sure she could convince you it was yours. If she does end up pregnant, make sure you get a paternity test. My 35 meters wife, 30F, wants a divorce after I found out about her talking to a man she met online. Hello all and thanks for reading this. Sorry for not tagging this post. I'm not on a computer so it's hard to do it from a phone app. I guess it would fall under breakups and relationships. So let me start by saying I am not perfect. I probably did a lot of things to add to this. But everything seemed fine until this long holiday weekend. My wife had made an Instagram account and at first used it to take pictures of clothes and outfits she wore. We have 2 kids so after the babies were born she maybe has had body issues and I tried to be supportive of her ways in gaining self-esteem back. But then she started posting pics of just her face and dudes would leave her comments and she'd answer back in a flirting tone. It made me angry and I told her as much. She swore it was innocent banter and not to worry. I told her if it was so innocent she could show me the direct messages without a problem, right? I couldn't believe it when she said no. She had the guiltiest look on her face and I was shocked. I told her to show me or I'd leave and she still refused. She said it would only make me mad. Flirting with strange men alone upstairs while me and the kids are downstairs? Who wouldn't be mad? I asked her if it was more than flirting and she said no. Like it was stuff where someone came into work and said hey you look nice and you'd respond with a thanks or that's so nice of you. I said show me the messages and she said no. I got angry and went downstairs and she followed me. Asked me to stay, that it wasn't serious. And the thought came to my mind. How did I know she hasn't been texting people too? So I asked her and she said no she didn't do that. And I went back to what I asked about the Instagram. She me if it's innocent. She refused. The wind was knocked out of me. The person I had been with for nearly the last decade, that I made all my memories and future plans with and gave my 20s to was not who I thought. I cried and cried. Not since my dad was peacefully deleted have I cried like that. She kept coming to me and asking to talk. Telling me it wasn't what I thought. I didn't believe her. Prove it right? Show me. She couldn't or wouldn't. After I calmed a bit we talked. She admitted to talking to a guy. She supposedly never has met him. But how do I know? She said she texts him and after asking has chatted with him on the phone. I asked if she had made plans to meet him. She said no at first but then said yeah but the plans were just talk. That she didn't really like him and that she didn't find him attractive and that he was not as cute as you. It made me sick and I got angry and told her that I felt she was having an emotional affair with a man she doesn't know. All my kids and I are rooms away. She had told this guy that she and I were separated. I told her it's stuck up to start relationships on lies. She then proceeded to tell me that she feels like she hasn't gotten the attention she wanted from me and has felt like it for years. I feel like this is passing her guilt onto me because she was caught. I am no saint and admit freely to mistakes. She then said we should separate. Okay fine. I was so sad. I went downstairs and cried and laid in the kids' room. So sad for them mostly. They are 4 and 1. My oldest is so smart and handsome and has a beautiful little soul. My 1-year-old is so innocent and sweet and they both have no idea what's going on. The next day she took the kids to her mom and dad's. For clarity, her parents are like my parents. I love them completely. I stayed home and I guess they wondered why. And so she told her mom. But only told her about the pics and chatting. Her parents had no idea about the texting and phone calls. She came home that day and I just stayed away from her. I went to work and her mom texted me and asked how things were going and I told her I'm sorry that things didn't work out and that I loved her and my father-in-law like they were my parents. She told me that my wife had told her she wanted to be with me. And that we should reconcile. I thought about it and felt that anything can be savable if you work on it and I still love my wife. So I bought flowers and dinner and my in-laws took the kids and we talked. And she told me she just saw us as friends. I saw she wasn't changing her mind. So I slept in the kids' room that night and tossed and turned. And about 1:30 a.m. she came down and laid next to me and asked me is it too late? We talked. I can't remember on what bit we agreed we'd work on it. And the next day I went to work and came home early because my job is seasonal and when weather is bad I generally come home. I bought her lunch. I was excited. I saw the things she talked about that she said had hurt her and was ready to change for the better and work harder. She proceeded to get ready for her job and I went to get the kids from her mom and dad who were excited she wanted to work on things. I came home and was wishing her well off to work when her phone buzzed. It upset me. I got sad. She left. I called her mom, who has been a sounding board for me, and asked her what to do. How can you make a two-person relationship work with 3 people in it? Her mom thinks she is sick and may be sad, and told me to call her when I needed to. My wife and I talked on and off that day. Made plans for Christmas and I played with the kids all day. When my wife got home we talked again. I told her I felt I couldn't move on if she wasn't on board. She still refused to stop talking to the man. Said she was excited when she did. Like an addict. Told me that she wanted to check her messages right then. I told her I was done. She told me she liked the guy. I went downstairs and hung out with my kids. Her mom texted me later. I told her everything. All the crap my wife had just spewed at me. She was in shock. I guess she didn't tell her mom everything. My mother-in-law told my father-in-law. He went nuts. Called me and told me to pack up the kids and come there. I told him I couldn't. And he said I could do it today. Said she was acting nuts. What if the guy was a criminal? What about medication or heavy drinking? The boys would be in the middle and he wouldn't let that happen. He then called her and World War III happened. She's mad at me for telling them the truth that she couldn't tell. I said it would come out anyway. And now I'm downstairs with my kids. It's raining again and I am not working. I feel sick and sad. Sad for my kids. Empty. I need to smile for them. But how? What do I do now? I need advice. Where do I go from here? What do I do? Help. DL, doctor, my wife was caught in an emotional affair and my life seems over. I need advice. I think your marriage is over. You need to talk to a lawyer ASAP. At the very least, your wife is having an emotional affair. She is coming to you telling you that she wants to make it work, but then continuing on with the emotional affair, all the while, putting nothing into your marriage, and in fact making you the one who has to do the work here. She cheats and somehow it's your responsibility to fix things? So, talk to a lawyer and begin this process to end this marriage, because if your wife is not into saving the marriage, there is nothing you can do, except make sure you are protected when it does eventually end. Don't move out of the house, talk to a lawyer immediately, focus on your kids, and eventually you'll find another woman worthy of your time and resources. Your father-in-law is the man. You are lucky to have him. Take him up on his offer. So many people on this subreddit get in situations like this and feel like they have nowhere to go. You do. Call a lawyer, start divorce proceedings, and lean on your wonderful family and in-laws. I love my in-laws and told them as much. Her dad is a great guy who loves his kids and grandkids. I feel as bad for them as I do for myself.